Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we will continue together learning list in Python. So in the previous tutorial we learned together how can we sort a list in alphabetical order, or we can do sort to the indices of a list, okay, from last to the beginning to the end, to the first, or we can do sort in reverse alphabetical order if I do sort in that list using sort method, and then I use reverse method on top of the sort method. Now, what if I want to search on an index of an item inside a list? Let us practice together how can we infer the index. Inside this list there is a method called index, and I can send what index. For example, I want to see for this cherry what is the index here, and sorry, I have to print this one. Okay, let's print the index, and yes, it is the number 4. If we count from 0 1 2 3 4, then cherry number 4. If I want to go for kiwi, okay, it will give me the index number 1, since again Python start indexing from 0. Now we want also to learn about count method, since index allow a list allow duplicate values. For example, I can add also here an apple here, also an apple. Okay, I can use, instead of index, I can use count method, and this count method will count for me kiwi, it will be 1. If I want to submit apple inside this count method, it will give me 2. I can also clear all items. For example, in a complete program, you want at a certain phase or stage, you want to empty this list and add new parameters or new variables into our items into it. You can use dot clear method, and nothing will be sent inside this one. We can just call dot clear, and we apply this method in a place first, then we can print it. Okay, so I want to print fruit. Okay, and then will be an empty list because we clear all items inside this list. And consider that if you want to infer the index of a list, you have to be certain that the item is exit, otherwise you will have an error. For example, if I want to use fruits.index, okay, and I want to ask for kiwi, and it will be the index number 1. But if incorrectly I send, for example, the index of mango, which is not exit, it will be here value error. So take care about this. Now a list can be for example or can comprises items of string representation like this fruit, and it also can contain it also can contain also numbers like this. We have a num list, it will be like 5 2 minus 4 3 5 again 8. Okay, so we can also have a list of numbers. Okay, and I can apply the same method to this. For example, if I can use num list.sort, it will sort all numbers inside this list. Okay, so I want to print this number list, and I want to see now, because we sorted the list by this way. Okay, we don't use another variable here, for example, and equal and dot sort, but here we used this method in place, so we apply the method to the original list. Okay, so the original list, which is num, will be changed. Okay, And when we printed this num, which is the original one, we can see it has been changed and it's sorted from the minimum to the maximum values. But what if I want to keep my original list as it without any changing? Then I can use another method. For example, I can use asnum, like sorted numbers. This will be sorted. Okay, sorted. Okay, let's remove everything here, and I want to use this method sorted, and I will send inside this sorted method the original list. Now I will have a new list, and this new list will contain the sorted values of this num list, and num list will remain the same, will have no changes. Okay, so let us print this as num. We will see here that the original list is still as it, okay, because this method is not applied any place, meaning that this method will not change the original list. And sorted method is a method that create a new list, which is this one, and it also remains the original list. It doesn't touch the original list. It's also worth to mention that a list can contain heterogeneous value. Okay, what I mean of heterogeneous value. For example, I have a new variable like heterogeneous list or heterogist. The meaning of the heterogeneous list is a list that does contain string, numbers, boolean. Okay, so it's like not the list that contain only string or number. So a list has the ability to comprises different Python data type also into it. Okay, for that a list can contain only strings, only numbers, or mixing between them. And I can do the same operation. For example, I can ask if number 1 in hetero, okay, then I want to print for example n. Okay, it is in the list because it matched the number. Okay, and then it find inside this. Okay, I can, if more fancy, I can say yes, else print no. Okay, as what we learned before. Okay, and it is inside the list. This is for a list of strings. We have an example of the fruits. We did another example with numbers, and we sorted these numbers, and all methods that apply in the string or in the number list, okay, or a list of numbers are the same. Okay, the methods are applied to the list irrespective to the data type that the list holds. Now, how can I create a list of zeros? For example, I have a list here. Okay, when I want to identify a variable, for example, and I don't care about this variable, just for example, I want to just to demonstrate, I can use underscore. I open a list. I want to, for example, create a list of 10 zeros. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Instead of manually adding this, I can only do like this. Okay, I can just use let us give it right name, zlist. Okay, with this zlist, it will equal a list that contain only 0 value multiplied by 10. Then I can construct a list with 10 zeros. Okay, so I have here a list with 10 zeros. Instead of manually creating or annotating this list with 0, we can just use the multiplication operator and the number. For example, if I wanted 20, I will have a new list of 20. The same if I want to have like 20 ones, okay, 20 of ones, I will have also 20 of ones at the same. Also for a list, if you want to copy a list, okay, there are many ways to copy a list. Let's speak in copying list after speaking about slicing. Okay, suppose I have a list of numbers. Okay, it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, past 90. Okay, 90. As what we learned in the string methods and the string slicing in Python, please go back to that tutorial. We can do also slicing with the list. For example, I can print the first element. Remember that this is called index operator. Okay, and I use this index operator, okay, to initiate a list. Okay, but it is index operator if I use it to slice a list. In this it's a list, but in this it's like it is called the slicing operator. Okay, so I want to print, okay, the first number of the list. I send 0 index will give me or will extract or will retrieve the first element. Okay, and if I want to use to print the second element, I want to send the second element is indexed by 1. Okay, because the index starts by 0, then I have 0. If I want to print from, for example, the first 3 elements, I can use this. This is 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is 0, 1, 2. It doesn't, okay, include 3 here. Okay, usually we send the 3, but we will take in account that the 3 will not be considered as an index when I do slicing, similar to what I introduced in the string slicing. I can also print all items of a list using this column. Okay, it will print all, or I can print it, for example, without considering this column. Okay, but I can also print all element of a list of step 1 as what we learned in string indexing. So we consider all items, okay, and one step. If I choose 2 steps, then it will print the first one and neglect the second one, then print the third one and neglect the fourth one, like this. Okay, it will print every 2 steps. Okay, here we have 10, then we have 30, we have 50, 70, 90, like this. Okay, if you want to print every 3 steps, you can just change 2 by 3 in the same way. Okay, now you can do slice. For example, if you are only interested in the last element, you can submit -1. If you want to print a specific with a specific range, for example, from the 3rd element to the 5th one, you can submit this one. You can also invert this list, similar to inversion, to the string inversion. I can use these columns and I submit -1 here, and it will be inverted. So the first one is the last one, and the last one is the first one in the list. This is for reversing a list. Okay, and we can do a reversing list in another way. Okay, we introduced in this tutorial sort and reverse. Okay, now I can use also reverse method here. Remember and keep in mind, for a list it can be reversed by using indexing operator, and I submit -1, provided that I use these 2 columns, or I can use like this. Okay, I can use like this. Okay, I can use nums, okay, dot reverse, okay, and this method is applied in a place, and this will change the original list, okay, and I run this one, then I have this is inverted. So two methods, remember and keep in mind, either choose um, slicing index operator, or to use reverse method. The last thing that I want to speak about for this tutorial is copying list. How can I copy a list, okay, and create from this list another? For example, I have copy list, okay. I'll let us to give it copy nums, okay. It will be nums. The first method, okay, is used to copy the original list is by using the normal copy by assignment. This, if I use this one and use equal sign, and then I use the original copy, this called equal assignment, or it is called copy by assignment. So if you have in your exam what is the meaning of the copy by assignment, we implement this like this, okay. This is the copy by assignment. If I want to, for example, print the for example the original, okay, I will print this original one. I will put nums here, and I will print for example, I give it a flag name copy, okay, and I will print the copy here, okay. You can see we have the original one and we have the copy one, and both are the same. But here we have a problem. Suppose that I, after copying this one, after copying the original one, then I modified the original one. For example, I want to append at the end of this list, okay, a number 100, okay. Then the new list will be affected the same, okay. So here I copied the original list, then I appended 100 to not to the new one, but to the original one, okay. So both will be affected by this. So you will notice it changes in the same list, because the copy by assignments, it will give the same memory location. Both variable will point to the same memory location, okay. And here the by assignment approach, the problem lies in this approach, in that if you modify the original list, then the copied one will be also affected. Okay, what is the other method that I can use? For example, I can, instead of using the assignment, I can use dot copy. Just if I use dot copy, then the original one only will be affected, and we can see here only 100. This 100 number is only added to the original method, and there will be no nothing, or no effect will be in the copied one. Okay, there is also another method to copy instead of use dot copy. I give you like multi-dimensional view, so you can use either assignment, but you have penalty of this because both lists will be changed, or you can use dot copy, or you can only use list like this, which is reserved in Python, and use when we initialize a list, you can use this syntax, okay, list and then two rounded brackets, but instead of keep the empty rounded brackets, I just do the nums inside, okay. I send or submit nums inside this one, and by this way I also I'm also able to copy the list. So we have dot copy that will copy without affecting the copied list if I change the original one, and the same thing when I use this list class in Python, and I submit inside this list enums like this, okay. Now there are also another way, okay. So we have another way to copy the list, which is the last thing for today's tutorial, to copy a list in another way, we can use, for example, the assignment or the normal assignment copy, but I use the index operator, okay, with two column, and by the same way I can copy the original one, and I have a new copied one, and when I change the original one, the copied one will not be changed. But if I remove this index operator, then we can notice that this new one will be changed. Guys, that's for today's tutorial, and we will also have another tutorials. The next one, which will be focused about list comprehension in Python. Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video among the other who want to learn Python for free.